Hello, everyone. It's Michaela here at My Joy Coach. Welcome back to another episode, another gathering of the Live Joy of Tarot. So, let's see. Let me see if I can get, oh, there she is. Every other week, get together here for you to have a dialogue, to share a conversation about, let me see.
Are we there?
There she is. Yeah. Yep. I was just saying, we're here to talk about the live joy of tarot, where we take both of our voices and our stories and our hilarity sometimes, and our vulnerability and our awkwardness and all the things, and we put them together to say to you, just be, right? Just be. And I like
just love it. Just love it,
be.
whatever it is. Whatever it is.
So what are you loving today? What's happening for
That's
you? I always get this huge smile and I'm like,
that's such a good question. Actually, what I'm loving today is this morning, I'm working on this presentation, and I had this, yesterday I got to this place where I was like, okay, I'm a little stuck, so I'm just going to stop. I'm just going to rest. I'm going to just let it figure itself out because it's going to come. And it came sort of like here and there, and then in the middle of the night, and then to this morning I was like, I can't get myself to do it. It's too much of a forcing right now. It's like it's not there completely. So I just said, I'm not gonna make myself do it. I'm gonna rest instead. I'm gonna do something else that brings me more inspiration. And then I said, what's gonna happen is you and I are gonna talk. We're gonna have a great time, and then I'm gonna want to get to it, right? But I couldn't make myself do it.
You can't.
That's what I love.
And I something that's been coming up in a lot of conversations for me lately is not, and Chitra is watching with us here, and it's not like chasing your dream, but running with it, right? Like moving towards it. And when you find yourself, I just had a great conversation, and we were talking about martial arts, and when you punch and you try to stop the punch, right? You're trying and it's tiresome. When you can just, right? You can either deflect the punch, you can get out of the way and say, this is not my punch, right? Or just kind of embrace it and say, let me move with the flow. But we have to practice and we have to get in that space. So I love that you were like, okay, no. Now it sounds like your mind was still moving and churning on the thing, right?
But
conscious part.
It's still going back there, right? It's like, I just said last night, I was like, okay, I got to where I can get. I made it through up to here. And now I'm like, I'm not sure. I even got to be a little bit more clear about where my problem was. I was like, what am I conflating here? And I said, and then I'm just going to put it down because I'm going to get tired. I'm going to be in a bad mood if I keep going. I don't need that, right? Because that just takes the whole energy of the whole thing down. Right?
It blocks everything.
Blocks
we
everything.
Stop breathing the right way. We stop thinking, and all the noise, right, takes us out of our center. That place we talked about last time.
Exactly. So I just said, okay, that's what I'm doing. Went and did other things. Have other things to do. In the middle of the night, I got this. And I wrote stuff down. And then this morning, just when it was the time that I normally would have sat down to work on it, I just said, you know what? This is not right. The energy doesn't feel right. And this whole thing is about energy. And so I can't go to it. So I just sat and worked on resting, and then worked on bringing my energy to where I wanted it to be. That was like, those are the two things I have to do this morning. And then the rest of it's going to follow.
Right. Because if you're trying to climb out of the well and you don't have any energy pushing you up, right? You're just exerting energy, not creating and restoring. And so sometimes you just, what do you say? Pause or stop.
To your two speeds, slow or stop. Exactly. Stop. If you're trying to be in touch with your own inner wisdom, right? And be guided by that, and paying attention to how you're feeling, because that's how you know what's going on, right? You have two speeds you can go at, slow or stop. You can't go fast. Going fast just closes it all down. Done.
And is there a time to go fast? Let me ask the question. Let me not put words in your mouth. Is there a time to go fast?
I don't know. If there is for you, I think then there is, right? If there's a time that's like, oh my God, it's time to go quick.
Yeah.
But the question really is,
Like, like that.
can you
But
keep yourself aware of what's happening on the outside and the inside at the same time that you're going fast? And often something has to give, right? Because going fast means things are going fast
yes,
by you, right?
I got it. Yep.
So
So even it's like your perspective, even when you're on a boat and it's going really fast, if you focus on the thing that is happening right in front of you, it's pretty consistent, right? And yes, it feels fast. There's momentum and energy, but I'm choosing this in each moment. I'm choosing where I am. I'm choosing to be aware. I'm choosing, and that's a
that's
slower pace.
a slower pace.
That's
Yeah. Yeah.
a slower
Watching,
pace. So
this is it.
life does happen fast, but we don't have to,
Yeah.
right? Like we can be in the moment,
Yeah.
which slows it down.
Yeah.
Great. I'm glad I asked.
That's a good question. I'm like, yeah, that's a very good
I
question.
don't know.
You know, because things do go fast, right?
Yeah.
Things
Yeah.
do go fast, and we get on planes and trains and automobiles.
Yeah.
But we of course we give ourselves over to that experience, and then we just say, okay, here I am in this experience. I can try to go fast in this experience. Like, have you ever been in a car and you want to go faster? Right? Then the car can go, like you're in a traffic jam. I could feel somebody that behind me this morning. He was very unhappy that we couldn't go anywhere. And I was like, there's not that much you can do, right? So what's going on around you? What's going on inside of you? That's what you do. And you can't do that quickly, right? You can try, but you're going to miss a lot of things.
But if we're checking in and paying attention, right? And just where are we? What's happening? We don't need rapid decisions because it's happening, right? And I see it, and okay, let me think, let me engage, let me connect. So interesting. Thank you for just jumping on.
Or if we do need a rapid decision, if we're already connected, we don't need to go through that moment of take a breath, get yourself balanced, and what's the right thing for me to do? Because that's what you're doing on an every moment by moment basis, right? That's how you stay on. That's how you stay on your path. Hello.
Awesome. We have Chitra, Mind, Body, Spirit Warrior, who just released her first book, I think 2 weeks ago. She is so amazing. She is also one of the big in our big sisterhood. She is out walking her dog, and she is a mighty powerful creature. So, Chitra, if you have a moment and a free hand, can you please pick a number between 1 and 22? And we can give you a minute because we can always chit chat.
She's got
to juggle all the things. She was actually on the podcast very recently, talking about her book, and
so tell us about the book. What is this? Oh, 7.
So she chose number 7. The book is a mindset book, but she brings in this warrior mindset where it's very holistic in its thinking, meets you where you are, but she does it through 7 main concepts that she actually developed several years ago that have, not even by design, like it just came into her space that this was the right 7 things that she aligned with, and she pulled it forward.
Beautiful.
I can't even put all the words to her. So please just watch the episode. But
I will.
The book is called The Warrior Mindset. And she very much represents and embodies that. And I highly recommend people just take a peek at her too. Awesome. Super cool. Yeah. So anyway, there's another plug for another great creature healing out in the world, like you and I want so much for the world to experience. Right. So
yeah, exactly. All right, so we're on
number 7.
I'm on to 7. Here we go.
Yeah.
All right, so 7 is the Hermit. I think we've had the Hermit. Did we have the Hermit recently?
We've had the Hermit recently, and then that's the one I think I pulled at the Serve conference that we were at.
I think you did. Yeah. So the Hermit, we'll go over it again.
Will we discuss today?
Here's the thing about the Hermit, right? The Hermit has many different layers to him, like every single one of these cards. So the Hermit is about being true to yourself, right? Being true to yourself is the light that's going to guide everybody else, right? When you try to guide everybody else by being false to yourself or making something up, right, then you're going down the wrong path and people won't be able to follow you there. It's not going to be an open path. It's not going to be a path that's clear. Whereas he is always, he says, okay, my own light. I have to be true to myself first. It's tricky. I have to balance. I'm on one foot. It's not an easy thing, right? It is the culmination of cards 0 through 8, right? He's number 9. He has come to this level of mastery of becoming the essence of who he is. That's what he's trying to do, and that's what he has achieved. But he recognizes it is something that is something you do alone, right? You cannot look for external validation or somebody else to tell you that you have followed your own path, because it's your own path and only you know what feels right. And that's what you're always constantly asking yourself. What is the right thing for me to do here? And this light is the light that illuminates what is the right thing for me to do here. He's even asking, what's the right thing for me to think here? What's the right thing for me to intend here? What's the right thing for me to will? Where should I put my attention and my focus? Because where I put my focus and my attention, that's what's going to grow in this world. That's what increases.
Does it mean anything that he's looking, I don't know, he's looking to my right, but in the direction that he's looking, and he's at the top of a hill,
He's at
right? And so is he looking out or down?
Yeah, he's at
Yep.
top of the mountain. Right. So yeah, he's not looking out or down. He's looking inward, right? Yeah. He's saying the most important answer to the most important questions are within me. They're already here. I already have them. I just need to illuminate them by honoring who I am. Who I am. Like people say this, be your authentic self. Right. I don't even know in one sense what that means, but it's that sort of honoring of what your inner wisdom tells you to do, right? Not what the external world tells you to do, not what your family told you to do. Right. And the problem is it's so hard to know, because the programming that we have have learned from our childhood, right? From up to about age 6, we are not really able to say, ooh, this works for me and this doesn't work for me, right? So up to age 6, we're just taking things in and saying, okay, this is correct. This is the way it is. This is right. This is wrong. And this card is saying, get rid of right and wrong. Yeah. Don't put right and wrong even in the equation. Get rid of morals and ethics and what's the right thing in terms of what feels right to you. We are all one energy. We are all connected, right? So if it feels right to you, it's going to be something that lifts other people. It's something that feels right to you, lifts and supports your own vibration. When it lifts and supports your own vibration, you lift and support the people around you, the plants around you, the animals around you, the house around you, the stones around you. We're all one energy, right? But if you start denying what it is that you need and what works for you, then you fall off of this high place, right? Because you're not following this light, and this light is only illuminating what's happening for you that you need to know.
It's always so interesting when we pull the same card more than once, because depending on where I am in my moment, right?
Yes.
And it hits me differently. And I think that I remember each of the other cards and some of where I was. So I'm trying to really relate right now. And I want to hone in on when you said, what does that even mean to live authentically? Yeah. And I think, and I've been asked that before. I was on a podcast and then I gained a client out of it because they connected with me and they were like calling my bluff, basically, like, what is this authenticity bull crap? Like, I can't even figure it out. And I'm like, all right, bring it on. And, awesome. Converted them into a client because we answered the question. And what I'm thinking today is the answer to that question is, are you checking in with yourself daily? Are you giving yourself space to say, who am I today? And look into the light. And we are the light, right? And if we authentically today, sometimes I wake up and I'm one version of me, and sometimes I'm another. There are, of course, consistencies there within. But if I get to say to myself, what is authentic to you today? It should be a little different than it will be tomorrow. The conditions, sometimes I wake up expecting sunshine and I get rain, right? Like, authentically, I now want to be on the couch.
Yeah.
Right.
That authentically, I wanted to not be doing this morning. It was just, it was a push and a pressure. I'm like, who wanted that? I don't want that energy.
Right.
Right.
And I think the authenticity is the willingness, and this is something from another conversation about this card, is the willingness to be alone on the hill,
Yes.
on the top of that mountain, and be okay with that. To be okay knowing you have enough light and that your light can and will inspire and help others. But damn it, they got to get up to the top of their own mountain.
Yeah.
And I can
Yeah.
show them how, I can lead them, whatever. But I'm the one that's walking up there. Yeah. And I got to stand in my authenticity and say, well, here I am.
Here I am. Yeah. And you can't do it for anybody else. And in fact, they don't truly want you to, right? No. They don't want you to take over all of the things about life. And it's daily life living that is the place where the spiritual tests and trials come, which it is the place that you are able to raise your vibration. You stub your toe. How are you going to handle that? Right? How are you going to handle that? How are you going to transmute that energy from, oh my God, I'm really like, that's in pain and now I'm going to get mad. Yep. Do you want to get mad? That's the slow down. Yep. Slow down and stop. What do you really want to use your 4 creative powers, your thoughts, your feelings, your actions, and your words? How do you want to use these? Do you want to use these to bring yourself more pain and suffering? Or do you want to use these to get yourself out, to free yourself, to bring yourself to a higher perspective, a bigger understanding?
Because that's it feels good immediately sometimes to put ourselves through suffering, right? Because sometimes we get positive feedback in whatever forms it may be. And it doesn't always feel good to choose the long-term fuzzier thing.
Yeah.
But, right. But when we give ourselves time to say, okay, but what am I doing? What do I authentically want today, need today in this moment? Yeah. And what else could it be, right? We talk about this a lot, but we lose the creativity because we have no idea what's on the other side of that mountain. And probably I'm gonna have to climb up it again tomorrow, right? Yeah. Exactly. And that's fine. Or
you are. But what one of my spiritual teachers likes to say, he says, okay, you can go within and connect with what your purpose is, but tomorrow, do it again. Yeah. Right? Do it again. And don't already have the question answered. What is the purpose that you want to fulfill today? What's the purpose that feels from you like this beautiful light coming out to share with the entire world? Right. What is that purpose for you today? Don't force it to be that you decided 10 years ago and that's it. And it's a career and it's not a moment by moment. How am I in this world? What is the thing that I do that lifts this whole situation, lifts the space that I'm in right now? Can you hear my cat? I'm just wondering. Can you hear my cat?
I just heard the tiniest thing now, but all are welcome. I mean, if the cat wants to pull a card, go ahead and put a little paw on.
Come on.
I find people so fascinating because, myself included, right? Because we've pulled this card and we've pulled this card and I still have so many questions, but I also think I know it. But I'm fascinated by the idea that we think once we get to the top of the mountain, that's it, right? Yeah. Once we do this, well, I made this decision 10 years ago, I'm good. And we do this in our marriages, in our careers, in our parenting. So like, I don't know, why don't we check in more? I guess that's the question, right? And I'm asking a hypothetical question because we're all doing it, but how do you help people build the courage to start the hike up the hill, I guess? Let's go there.
So there's a lot there. The first thing
I know. I was like, wait a minute, I don't even know what I just asked, but let's just play with it.
I'm going to start here, which is that when there was something that you said that made me write down, you lose the flow. Like when you start making here's my goal and I'm never going to sway from it, right? You've lost the flow of your life. Right? You are no longer in connection with your inner wisdom, your higher guidance. You've made a decision and cut everything down.
At all the potential.
Exactly. And perhaps, what if?
That's true. Maybe not all, but
what if you're going in this direction towards that goal was only so that you took the first 3 steps? Yeah. And then you needed to take a left turn, right? Maybe the thing that was the next right thing for you was around the corner as opposed to that direct on, right? We have this idea that we have to accomplish something, that we have to do something, whereas you can live your life and your purpose right here, right now, at this very moment now. And that's where I start with people is what can you do right now? And then I help them transmute the fears into a higher vibration, because you cannot build, like, success is a very high vibration, right? Success, beauty, balance, order, abundance, these are high vibrations, and you can't build these things. You cannot build a successful anything, an abundant anything, on a vibration that's a low vibration, whether it's push or pressure or force. That's why this morning I said, if I'm going to sit and push and pressure myself, I'm not going to be building a beautiful thing right here, right now. I'm going to be building push and pressure and force. And that's a low vibration, and it is not a good foundation for bringing yourself. It's a high distance between these. So you have to be able to go through and bring yourself up, right? And so I start with, where are you now? What can you do right now that's going to start lighting up that inspiration, right? Which inspiration is really high, right? But we can get, once we can jump up to inspiration when we get it.
1% improvement over time, right? It gets you
Exactly.
up the mountain.
Exactly.
It really does. And
until you hit the wave. It's like you hit the wave and that's it. You ride that wave up. But you have to know that you're in control of it, right? Most people think that they're not in control of it, that it's an external world is in control of it. But it's not the external world. We're 100% in control of what we're doing. We just have given away that power so often. It's part of the programming we've learned that we don't recognize that, oh my God, I don't need to get upset when I stub my toe or this person drives behind me like really aggressively. He just wants to fight. Two people have to show up to fight, right? If he shows up and I don't, there's no fight. I just am like, hey, I'm going to listen to my music. I'm going to, exactly. I just get out of the way. And exactly. But it takes slowing down. It takes real consciousness of what's happening, right? So I don't try to tell people this is how you have to think or this is how you feel. I try to give them experiences so they come to their own conclusions. Try this as an experience. Try that as an experience, right?
That's it. And it's just, you know, in the work that I do, that you do, it is all about what opportunities do you have? What could be possible? And saying, okay, well, what's the worst that could happen if you go that route? Or how do you do, let's name the fear. We got to put that stuff on the table, y'all. Like, it's got to be identified. Because if we don't know what kind of bumps and bruises we're going to get on our way up the hill, right? We have to know what we're dealing with, like, put it out there so that we can have that full light at the top. Now, what I find interesting is that when the spirit gets up there, we're on one foot, right?
Because it's very tricky to balance here.
Yeah.
Very.
And
that's a very tricky balance.
I think that we culturally have this idea that when we get to the quote top of the hill, when we make the decision 10 years ago, it's going to be easy. It's going to be solid and stable, but it's all, I'm going to use the word work. It's all effort. It's all intention, right?
Intention is a good word,
to be able to kind of maintain there, right? And it's not going to be, in the words that, you know, we don't like to use, good or bad, right? It's just going to be constantly moving, because if you've ever been to the top of a mountain, it's windy up there, right? It's like a beautiful place to be, but it's windy. So when we think about stabilizing in those challenging conditions, in athletics and our physical selves, we think of stabilizing the core, right? Get your core stabilized. And it's the same thing when we think about our spiritual and getting that center stabilized to a place where it can move and go with the flow and bend and flex a little bit. Because people will drive you nuts while you're driving. And I do stub my toe, and damn it, it hurts. And I'm not happy about it, but hang on. It's like, what do we know about pain? It doesn't last forever. Okay, because it does hurt, right? And it's not to deny the existence of the ow.
No,
right?
You can't do that.
But what story do we tell that takes our energy away from pursuing our journey to the top of the hill?
Yeah.
It's just really powerful.
So when you're here, You can no longer tell victim stories about yourself. This is the essence of who you are. You have connected with that essence, and that essence has absolutely no victimhood. This essence doesn't say, oh, you know, this person's driving behind me and that's why I'm upset. No, you're upset because you want to be upset right now. And this person happened to bring you the opportunity.
The
Do you still
reflection.
want to be upset? Do you, knowing that what you feel, right, what you focus on and feel is going to grow, and that's what's going to come back? Do you want to be upset because you're going to get more opportunities to be upset if that's where you keep staying?
And
that
that's
it's that,
exhausting.
it's, you have to, yeah, exactly. It is exhausting to agree to stay this victim of, oh, well, there's this person behind me and there's nothing I can do. There are a million things you can do.
Yep.
Right? You decide. You slow down and stop to decide, right? You have to come to that place. And everybody gets triggers all the time. We all have challenges. There's no end to them. Doesn't matter if you're the most enlightened person in the world. You're going to get these because that's what we're here to do.
That's right. And it's what we do on the return. Yeah. It's how we respond to that stimuli that determines the rest of our life. Yeah. Every moment after is now headed in this direction. And when we're meant to flow, and it's, I'll try this and let me go here, and it's not to be careless and flippant, but to be curious, right? And to say, how do I get up that hill? What am I doing to create better conditions for myself? And you know, our relationship started because I was tired and I wasn't sleeping and I wanted to improve this. And man, if this doesn't answer the question, right? Like, what are you pouring your energy into? What permission are you giving yourself that helps you move up that space, move to your true, authentic self? And have you asked yourself today, do you want to take a nap? And I did. Check now that I did.
You're like,
I really
I'm doing it. And it's life-changing to allow yourself to do the things that your inner wisdom is trying to tell you to do, right? We hear them all the time. We're never not hearing messages, right? The only way to do it is a la, 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 right? Just I did not hear it. Don't want to hear it.
Exactly. Just turn that volume down so you can turn your inner volume up, because the world is waiting. That's, you know, that's the reality, and that's what gives the courage and the confidence.
That's exactly it. This light, the beautiful light that each one of us has, it's what my light is to shine is not what yours is or anybody else. There's no one else ever on the planet that has the light that I have to shine. That's right. Same with yours, same with everybody else. We are completely unique. That's right. There's nothing, there's no like, oh, you know, this is inspiring to me, but no one else, like everybody else is really inspired by that. No, your combination of history and abilities and talents and fears and anxieties and all of those things make this into this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful gift. And this is what you share with the world, right? That's your true joyful path, is sharing this thing that inspires you. And that's the thing that's going to like light up the path and light you up. And that everything else falls by the wayside. And suddenly you find that the mountain isn't that you actually climbed the mountain. It's that everything else that wasn't the mountain fell away. You know what I mean?
Whoa. Wait a minute. We're going to have to come back to that another day.
Wow. Everything else that wasn't this beautiful, shining inspiration, that once you connect with that inspiration, high vibration, everything else of daily life really is inconsequential. You'll just do it because you got to go do it. We talked about this, I think, was it last time or a couple of times before, just about the idea of if you're inspired, the things that you need to get through that might be like the bureaucratic hoops, the administrative, you know, like trials or whatever, that you don't care about them because you're inspired. And that's what this card is saying, is get in touch with that and trust that. It's like taste buds, right? Taste buds are here so that we can know what's something healthy for us or good for us versus something that is not, right?
Right.
Your inspiration is telling you this is the way for you to go to be joyful and happy and beautiful and balanced and orderly. Yeah. And everything else is let that fall away. Let it fall away.
That was great.
That was pretty awesome. See, that we never know, but we always get different things. It doesn't matter. It's just coming because this is what we do, you and I together.
I had thoughts, but then like
I'm
the
sorry.
whole everything. No, don't be sorry. I mean, come on. I have so much more to think about right now, and that just, I know. I like, listen.
You're
I've
fabulous.
accepted that like I am just gonna look like a mad woman half the time, but that's fine.
No,
I'm
no, you're like
so
lovely. Yes.
curious because the way we look at things, are we looking at what is, what was, what could be? And I am a, visual person, and just the idea of all the decisions I've made that build in to get me to this place, as they've fallen away, it's been scary and felt like a lot of things, but now I'm left in a place where even I can stand on one damn foot. This is so real and so right for me. I can stand on one foot,
Yeah.
and
That's solid. It's that
yeah.
solid. Exactly.
Oh, it's like the extracting, the removal of those things that do not serve us so that we can serve our fullest, highest potential.
Sometimes they just fall away. Like, so that there have been times in my life where there have been people that I'm like, I'm just not sure that they're the right person for me to hang out with. And I don't call them, they don't call me. And somehow we just drift.
Yeah.
And that's all right. That's perfect because I'm going
Yeah.
somewhere and they're going somewhere else. There's nothing wrong with anything.
And the
It's
ones
what
where
feels right.
I've connected and in the beginning probably shouldn't have, but did anyway. And then when things dissolve, whether it's personally, professionally, or whatever, it's like, I did know that. And it was like those experiences are such a good reminder of remember what that felt like.
Yeah.
Remember what that felt like without judgment, but remember what that felt like and how I talked myself through it, and where fear played in, where hope played in. And so I don't know. My brain is now all over the place. Thank you.
It's
and I'm very
fabulous
happy about it. I I think that we should let our brains go all over the place, right? Like what else can we see in ourselves, in the things that we think are so concrete? What else could it be?
Yeah. Look for other answers. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
But look within, let it filter through our own light first. Let that be the qualifier, because there is a lot of noise out there.
There's a lot of noise out there. And it's not going to get lower, but the fact is this is the one true, steady, safe, secure thing you can always trust in. And that's your own inner wisdom, inner guidance, higher guidance. You don't need professionals. You don't need some self-help books to tell you what decision to make. You need to get calm and balanced in a balanced place. And then you ask yourself, what's the right thing for me to do here? And you just wait for the answer. It's going to come. It can't not come. Awesome.
Thank you.
So lovely to be with you always.
Always so fun. I just love that we never know where we're going, but here we
are.
To everyone who joined us today, thank you so very much. I am Michaela Birdie-Shaw at My Joy Coach.
I'm Lisa Tancredi at the Feel Better Group.
That's right. And we will see you all in 2 weeks for another live Joy of Tarot. If you want to catch some of our archived conversations, you can find them at my podcast and all the things. Beautiful. Hope you all have a fantastic day and just go make it great.
Thank you, Chitra, for coming.
Yes.
So nice to meet you.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us.
Virtually.
Bye,
Thank
everyone.
you, everyone. Okay, bye-bye.